Hey, this is Chris with the Droning Company here with Gabriel from Sony. Gabriel here is going to tell us a little bit about their latest drone, the AirPeak. I'm sure you've all seen that and been really excited about it, as well as take us through a little bit of a walk through some of their other products. But before we get started with that, Gabriel, tell us a little bit about what you do for Sony and how long you've been with the company and what your initiatives are in the aerial industry.
Sure. Well, Gabriel Johnson again, and I am the Senior Product Marketing Manager for AirPeak drone systems here at Sony. I also handle our phones as well, another business that we handle as well, which interestingly enough has some applications here for drones, but we'll get into that a little later. Yeah, this is the S1. This is our first drone that we've introduced. We first officially started shipping this at the end of last year. Into December we started shipping. We announced it about a year prior, kind of teased it out there in the market. We started shipping it, and yeah, originally this was built for kind of photo cinema. But the response we've gotten from like enterprise has been pretty substantial. So we're now kind of expanding our focus from beyond just like photo cinema use to how do we incorporate enterprise usage as an expanded focus for us with this drone.
Excellent, that's awesome. Now, in the development of this drone, I know one of the key features here was that you can include your Sony handheld camera as the actual imaging device. Now, is there any development for people that might not have a Sony handheld camera but still want the AirPeak technology, or is it just going to be strictly Sony moving forward?
Yeah, so quick side story really quickly. So I spent 8 years managing the Alpha camera business before I got on AirPeak. So these are near and dear to my heart. So it's kind of great coming into this space, already knowing the cameras really well and putting these into the air now. But as it stands right now, it's most optimally built around the Alpha camera system. That's gonna give you the most control. That's how you're gonna get kind of the best usage out of this. Now that said, for all intents and purposes, it's a flying tripod, so you could put other stuff on it, you just won't have the control right now. But it is something where we've heard kind of many times from the customers, they want to fly things from like, LiDAR to thermal cameras. So it is feedback we were looking at and figuring out kind of what the next steps are to potentially incorporate something like that.
Oh, that's really good to know. And there is one place that I know that Sony would excel, and that's in the mapping industry, because really all you need is the telemetry data from the drone as well as the imaging from the camera. Is that something that is it able to be put through like Drone Deploy, for instance, and have a map built?
Yeah, not yet. So we can get the images out, but that's something else we're working on. Is like I said, we built this initially for photo and cinema, and enterprise said, we love it, can you add all this other stuff? And so now our engineers are scrambling to figure out how to incorporate those aspects to be able to take care of kind of the rest of the verticals in the enterprise space. I'll actually get to that in a little bit. We do have some things that are coming, which we'll get to later in the booth that will address some of that. So, yeah.
Excellent. In terms of how somebody can contact you to purchase the Sony AirPeak, I mean, where do they go? They go to the website, correct, or they contact somebody?
You can go to electronics.sony.com/AirPeak or sony.com/AirPeak. Either one of those will work, and you can learn more about that. We've got a range of resellers we work with that sell this across the country, so you can definitely get your hands on it. It's available now, shipping. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. I'd love to take a look at some of the other tech you have, if we can head over.
Yeah. This is our kind of our whole accessory lineup here. So this is the basic controller that comes with a kit when you buy the AirPeak system. So the full system is about $9,000, and that's going to come with a remote here, a set of props, a charger, which we've got right here, as well as the batteries. The gimbal is an additional purchase, as is the camera. So that's all separate. But looking here at the remote specifically, as you can tell here, this is an iPad here. So we've got this kind of optimized to connect with iPad. It is an iOS app that we have called AirPeak Flight that you utilize to operate the aircraft. And so what you're seeing right here is a screen recording of something I actually shot last week. Matter of fact, up in Sun Valley, Idaho here. And what's really kind of differentiated between other drones on the market here is the amount of control you're going to get with this. Because it's a Sony built system, it's integrated Sony systems here, you're getting integrated Sony controls here. So you're able to control the focus, the different shooting modes, shutter, ISO, aperture, white balance. But we don't stop there. We also incorporate things like touch focus now as a new feature that we've added as well. And that's all controllable right from the app here. So that's a real differentiator for us on this.
So I know that handheld-wise, the Sony A7 series, the Alpha series, is really well known for three things: the picture quality, low light performance, and battery life. Now, in terms of battery life, that brings me to my question.
Yeah.
The gimbal, is it able to support a battery grip that you could attach to the Sony to get more battery life out of it, or how does the camera operate in terms of battery capacity?
Yeah, so right now, it's really relying on the camera's battery to provide battery for the camera itself, right? So now, no one's asked me about a grip. We haven't tested that yet. If you can actually install that on, that's a good question. But as it's built right now, works well with just kind of the standard Z battery. You're going to get a lot of life out of that. So yeah, that's kind of the battery story for the camera side. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's anything else you have, I'd love to see it today.
Yeah. So walk through this already for you a little bit here. Standard charger comes with it. The battery pack. This is a T3 gimbal here that's specifically built and designed for AirPeak. So unlike other kind of gimbal systems from Grimsey, a lot of those just provide you a video feed, right? Well, we're using USB-C, which connects to the camera, and that allows you to get control in video. So you're going to get both of those out of here, and that's where you get some of the unique controls for that. One of the interesting things is because you have the HDMI port free, is you actually get a secondary video feed out of this, and that's where things like this come in handy. Is if, say, for example, you want to do a live view, you could strap on something like we have an Xperia Pro phone to the HDMI port there, and now you can do like a live stream to the web, or you can go to the cloud or something like that. So that's a little nuanced thing that you can do by the fact that we're using kind of a different control system on that.
That's very cool. Now, what's this thing here?
Yes, so this is some new technology we're first showing off here in the U.S. This is the first time we've shown this here in the U.S. We actually announced this in Japan as a technology development. We don't have official pricing yet on any of these items, but what we have here is a highly desired battery station. So this will allow you to charge up to 8 batteries at a time, has space for 2 additional, so you can hold a total of 10 batteries in here, but it doesn't stop there. We've also got charging ports for up to 2 remotes as well, and this can hook up to a car if you want to. It's got a DC input there for like cigarette lighter. You can plug this into your car, so great for on the go. A lot of this kind of came out of feedback from the enterprise market, right? These guys are out in the field, they're out in trucks inspecting towers or doing different types of field work. And even for creators too, it's nice to be able to have something like this that you can charge mobily. And definitely keep your battery life going there.
Now, how many, and when you charge this case up, how many charge cycles do you get per battery? Like, how many times can this charge a battery up?
You can. I don't have a specific spec on that per se, but you can charge up pretty quickly. The ability to go up to 90% full pretty quickly on the batteries is capable. A lot of the specs haven't officially released yet on this, so. Yeah, I can't answer all those questions today.
Sure, absolutely.
But in due time, we'll release all that.
Okay, excellent. Now, the RTK kit. This is something I know in the industry, the enterprise industry especially, is going to be very valuable.
Absolutely. So that's why we're showing it off at this show. Is for obvious reasons. Being able to have this, this came pretty quickly on the heels of our release. People are like, great, I can get beautiful images. I want to geotag it. And so this is going to allow us to do that really accurately and also provide accurate position for the aircraft. So if you're doing, say, something like a cell phone tower inspection or something like that, you need really precise kind of orbits around that, automated orbits that you can do that really precisely with this RTK kit. Okay. Additionally, we've got higher capacity batteries coming as well. They're going to provide 30% more flight time. As well. So
what is the flight time on one of those batteries?
Yeah, so right now, fully loaded, AirPeak today with the current battery system maxes out about 12 minutes.
Okay.
Right? And so that's why we're coming out with the new battery. That's going to be available close to the end of 2022, early 2023, along with this battery station at around the same time. The RTK kit, we don't have a date yet, but those will be coming very soon. Okay. So I know that's been a hotly requested improvement, and so it's definitely something our team has been working very quickly to address.
Now, one of my last two questions here. In terms of geofencing, I know a lot of people have concerns about that. As Part 107 gets a little bit more and commercial operations get more commonplace, airspace gets a little more complicated. What kind of geofencing system do you have, unlocking system, anything like that?
Yeah, so you can turn it on or turn it off.
Okay.
So you do have the ability to kind of gauge that. Obviously, there's a little warning, let you know, hey, you may make sure you have proper clearance to be in this airspace. So, but we don't block that definitively.
That's brilliant. I think putting the responsibility in the hands of the pilot is ultimately the way to go, because if you're Part 107 certified, you know the rules. So I can appreciate that flexibility you provide in your platform. So my last question for you here today is, if you had to give a drone pilot that's looking to get into the commercial sector one piece of advice where they could start to build themselves up, what would you give them?
One piece of advice to give them to start building themselves up. Let me think about this for a minute. I would say, get out there and fly. I mean, that fundamentally, right? Like, you just got to get out there and just start practicing, right? If there's certain work you want to be able to do, certain verticals you want to get into, the only way you're going to really learn is just to get out there and do it. Or partner up with somebody who knows how to do it and learn from them.
Okay. Excellent. Now, Gabriel, anybody who wants to find out stuff about AirPeak, about Sony, social media, websites, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can start with our website, sony.com/AirPeak. That's a U.S. hub for it. You can also find us on social as well. Look up, hashtag AirPeak, Sony AirPeak. You'll find us out there.
Okay. Excellent. Hey, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
The Droning Company is a job agency for drone pilots, which also incorporates a high-end magazine about the industry. So people search this when they're looking for a drone pilot. They talk to the pilot directly, but either via email or phone. We're not involved. We don't take commissions. Never have, never will.